You've tried it your way, but you're still in debt? Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter, grow faster. MillionaireX.ai gives you real step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming and start planning. Visit MillionaireX.ai today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Let's stop acting like we don't see how this game is played. If you tired of folks throwing shade with a smile and keeping you boxed in with that slick behind-the-scenes racism, it's time to upgrade your survival skills. See, Phillip Scott dropped more than just knowledge. He handed you a playbook with passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy. This ain't the in-your-face kind. This is that sneaky, office space, let me block your blessings type of racism that'll have you questioning your own reality. It's time to call it what it is and arm yourself with the facts. But baby, don't stop at just peeping the system. Break those mental chains too. That's why you need 7 steps to decolonize the mind. This is about freeing yourself up top, walking in confidence, and letting the world know your mind is not for rent, lease, or layaway. It's time to reclaim your power step by step. So don't just watch, take action. Click over to Amazon.com, type in passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy and 7 steps to decolonize the mind, and secure both books for yourself, your crew, and anybody ready for that mental liberation. La Sherika said it, now go do it. Invest in your freedom. Pick up both books today on Amazon.com. Trust me, your mind will thank you.
I don't spend my money at the club. Everything I want is provided for me.
The biggest misconception about you, nothing. It's all true. It's all true. It's all true. If you hear something, believe it. You want to get married now? Do you feel like you're that? No. It is by choice. It's by choice.
Who inspires me? Me. Yes. Me. Yeah. They inspire me, those people you mentioned.
I date mostly like married men, because I don't have that type of time for you. Oh, yeah. And you are married, you don't have that type of time for me.
What do you think it is that the wives are not doing? I love this question.
They're not really being loved properly. When you stay with someone for so long and you feel like, oh, I don't really have to do much. Don't ever be comfortable around a human being. They can switch.
His wife, one day I just make 11 o'clock from there. She's like, my husband can't control himself, and you as a woman, you can't. I said, Mama, you can't even speak English. Like, I can't even understand. Like,
yeah, I can even speak English because of that's why.
yes.
I don't even speak English. I wouldn't say it was a sugar daddy or a blaster. But I had a thing with someone that was giving me a lot of money.
Every day he was sending me money for lunch.
Every day is when you go to work?
Exactly.
Shout out to the Sleigh Queens who are getting their thing without having to sell a thing,
Yeah.
Trust me, you can get whatever you want, once you put your mind to it.
Watch Sleigh Queen only on the African Diaspora News Channel app.
From November 14th to 21st, we're inviting you to join us for a powerful trip to Ghana. This isn't just a vacation. This is a chance to walk through the same places where many of our people were captured, held, and shipped off into slavery. So don't wait. Secure your spot today. We're making history by walking through it. Will you be with us?
What if I told you there's a news platform made just for us? Unfiltered, unapologetic, telling our stories from Africa and the diaspora. Diaspora News Channel app keeps you informed and empowered from wherever you are at any time. Don't just watch, join the movement. Download the app now and stay connected to the news that matters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yeah, boys and girls, definitely, because some of you could be watching. Thank you for joining us on the stream this evening. It's my pleasure to welcome you here. I'm Phillip Scott, as always, and we are here. It is July 15th. We are about, halfway of the month over, ladies and gentlemen? Halfway. That time passed by so fast. I told y'all, we're going to be looking at Thanksgiving and Christmas before you know it. Them kids going back to school next month. At least most of them are. I know mine is going back next month. So I know some of y'all got to start doing this back to school shopping, getting supplies and clothes and lunch money again. And, that little summer break goes just like that, right? So tonight, building on some things that we was talking about last night on the stream, we're going to cover, this particular article that came out about two Latina lawmakers, Democrat and Republican lawmakers getting together to help out their people. And so we need to talk about that. And also, that the Congressional Black Caucus, once again, they don't do anything to help us out whatsoever, right? So we're going to definitely get into that conversation. On the Ghana trip, we have about 18 spots left on the Ghana trip. Once that's gone, that is gone, ladies and gentlemen. So join us definitely on the Ghana trip. Also on the ADNC app, we do have a lifetime membership, and we only have so many of those. We have, I think, initially released 100. We had 2 people join that so far, so we got about at least 98 of them left. Right. So join us a lifetime. That way you won't be subjected to no price increases or stuff like that. You're tapped in with us there, like for long as we doing this platform, for sure, lifetime. And I plan on doing my platform until the Lord ready for me. Right. I'm enjoying what I do. Even though I got my ups and downs and all arounds and all this stuff. But join us on the app. Or if you can't, say, nah, I can't do a lifetime, at least not today. But hey, join us at least monthly. It's $9.99. It's only, if you break it down, it's only 33 cents a day. That's it. If you break it down. And all those funding goes directly to us, because see, YouTube takes a cut. They don't give us everything. So even if you super chat, they take a cut out of that. But if you to take that same amount of money and say, okay, I've seen people give 10, 20. If you'd have did that, just a subscription, and say, hey, I'm going to keep a monthly subscription or something like that, we get all of that, right? Versus when YouTube takes a cut of super chats. Not to say we wouldn't take a super chat, but if you want us to get everything, just get a membership. That will greatly assist us. If everybody that comes on these streams, we can get at least 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 of y'all, go join the app, at least monthly at $9.99. Hey, join us over there. We're going to start doing some different things. I want to bring back talking to y'all, but I'm only going to do that on the app. I'm not going to do that here on YouTube because, hey, so maybe somebody want to holler, give a day, let people come on in and we good to go from there. So I'm thinking about that, but y'all let me know if that's what y'all want to do, because the reason why I kind of stopped it on YouTube, because you just get some people that just straight. I put it like this. I'm not equipped to deal with people that have mental health issues, because my patience level is not high for that, especially when people are older, they got mental health issues. Maybe they were younger, I'm more patient, but when they're older, I just have no patience. So, if I do it, I'll do it on the app, over there, okay? All right. Also, is there anything I'm missing? I don't know if I missed. Oh, also to Canada. Yes, we're going to Toronto, Canada next month. At the Pan-African Film Festival. So all our brothers and sisters, we have a lot of supporters in Toronto. Let me see if I can get that up on the screen. If I do have that on the screen somewhere. I thought I did. So forgive me on that. Let me see here. I would have to go to my other screen. Is it here? Yeah, let me go ahead and copy that real quick. That way y'all can see it. I think I had 2 different ones. Okay. Just give me a second. Let me copy it in my other browser. I'm using a different browser now, so that way I'm just moving some things around. Boom. All right, that's that. And then let me get to the other screen. That way I don't have to do this anymore. And there we go, right there. Because somebody was coming on our AI chat bot, Jelani, that's answering people's questions, which is great. Okay, there we go. All right, so let me go back to this screen. Let me go to my thing here. Where we at? All right, boom. All right, the Toronto Pan-African Film Festival, they do a lot of reviews of films and things like that. That's what, we can scroll down here. They just kind of talking about some of that, other things they have done. But the main thing, they also have a brunch that will be here, the Toronto Pan-African Film and Media Brunch. That'll be on the 17th at 10 to 3 p.m. at the 50 Prince Edward Island Crescent in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And like I said, most of our viewers come out of Toronto, so shout out to them. And you can get, your tickets if you want to be at the brunch. Early bird pricing is 45, I think, Canadian dollars. And I think the full one is 55. So I say join us Sunday, August 17th. We celebrate storytelling, film, media for the first time. Of course, I'll be there. And a couple of other people will be there as well. And we set the tone, just letting you all that. So just come on through. You're out there in Toronto, or maybe some of y'all on the U.S. side that can cross. Come on through. Come on through. We'd love to talk to you. I know last time that we had something like that. Oh, I thought I hit the button. I guess I didn't. Maybe I didn't hit the button. Okay. Well, y'all come on through. I thought y'all saw what I had on the screen. Oh, that's something. Why didn't that show on the screen? Okay. Maybe I messed up. All right. Let's see here. Well, wrong one. Ah, okay. It was that one. All right, but y'all get it. Y'all get it. So, I don't know if y'all saw that or not. Let me make sure so I don't second guess myself. No, that's not it. Why am my thing not showing on the screen? You know what? Let me get past this today, because I don't even know, brothers and sisters. I don't even know. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. But just go ahead and meet us over there, and then it'll be a beautiful thing. All right. So let's get to this article that I actually want to review. Let me get here. Let me get to this article. Where my article at? Where we at? We over here. And then let's see here. All right. So this is where we at, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. All right. Bipartisan duo introduces bill to give some migrant workers protected status amid Trump's crackdown. That's just the headline. Okay. So as you can see, the legislation from Representatives Maria Elvira, or probably Elvita Salazar, she's a Republican, okay? And Veronica Escobar, a Democrat from Texas, will provide legal status for certain undocumented immigrants. You see, now I want y'all to see this not only this picture, but I want you to see that how they are united. It does not matter if they are Republican and Democrat, okay? And oh boy, that's a place I can just ride for a while. You see how they are united. But in this community, if a black person is a Republican, and not to say they did some shucking and jiving bootlicking, but they're a Republican, you can't work with them. You don't like them. Oh, they are sellout because they are a Republican, right? And the only way you will work with them unless they are a Democrat just like you. But in other communities, they don't care if someone's a Republican. They don't care if someone's a Democrat. They say, hey, we're part of this greater community. We may think a little different on some topics or whatever, but we all going to be affected. Don't matter if it's Democrat or Republican. But you take this community And somebody lose their mind if somebody say, yeah, well, I'm a black conservative and this and that. I'm not saying you're bootlicking, because nobody like bootlicking. You got black Democrats that bootlick too now. So I don't know why they just put it on the black conservative. But the black liberal or the black Democrat, he bootlicks, I think, way more than the black conservative. But that's a whole nother discussion. But right there, they can come together and try to do something for their own people. Now, Miss Salazar, she is a Republican. Trump's a Republican. She's literally going against what Trump wanted to do for her own people. Now, let's look at the Congressional Black Caucus. And he's not part of our lineage, but I'm going to point out something. So, and I don't agree with a whole lot what he say, but it's still a point I need to make with that, okay? So we got to move some things to the side here for a minute. The times that you had a couple of Republicans that wanted to join the CBC, like Mia Love, which she's, I think, passed away as a recent. Mia Love wanted to join. They didn't want her in there because she's a Republican. I think Byron Donalds tried to join the CBC. They didn't want him in there either. It was a couple other black Republicans. They did not let them join the Congressional Black Caucus because they was Republicans. Now, I say that if you're bootlicking, if you're shining, if you're doing things that's so horrible against black people, I get it. But I'm just want to point out how these other groups have no problem working with each other, no matter if it's Republican or Democrat. Now, let's get into what they want to do coming together, okay? Now, they putting up bills to help their people. See, listen, the reason why I told you before, other groups get ahead of black people is because not only these groups are elevated and given things, but they're taking those funding and positions and trying to elevate their people as well. Now, at the same time, the folks allow them to elevate their people to a certain point, but then now if they're getting too close, and the folks gonna swat you down, which is kind of what they're trying to do to them now. They say, all right, you're doing too much. You're supposed to come in here, work low-skilled labor, get your car, get your truck, get your house, do all what you're going to do in your own neighborhood. Don't come over here with ours, and we cool with you. But when they say, I'm going to start being Congress people, and I'm going to start being senators, and we're going to be the police and the sheriff and the judge and all this stuff, they say, oh, whoa. It's way too many of y'all, and y'all start getting too many ideas. So we got to go ahead on and reel that back now. That's what a lot of that's about. Because they realize that they have a takeover mentality. You understand? But the thing is, the folks, Trump, actually, I just heard something today, something through the DOJ. I talked about this. I don't know if Trump was listening to my stream, but did you hear what Trump ordered the DOJ to do about making everything in the federal language, everything is English? And he's going to start taking away all the funding and all these multi-language things with paperwork and the federal government and all of that. Somebody's going to save millions of dollars by doing that, and say, hey, if you want to do something, it has to be in English. He said, because English is the official language of this country. He said that before. I said, oh, okay, all right. Because we do spend a lot of money in trying to cater to people, because this is the deal. They're not even assimilating. They're making Americans assimilate to them, not the other way around. Now, when you go to their country, you have to assimilate to them. Whatever country you go to, you have to assimilate, okay? You have to try to learn the language. If you don't like learning the languages, then you probably don't need to go to a country where somebody's speaking the language that you don't want to learn. That's just really bottom line. That's how I look at it. That's why I could visit some French-speaking African countries, but I wouldn't be the guy to say I want to live there because I don't speak French. I don't. And I don't want to depend on somebody to speak French for me. I want to be in places where they speak English. Well, I understand, right? So, hey, got like South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, they speak English. Kenya, Ethiopia, even though they do speak their languages, of course, but a lot of people speak English, right? In a lot of places. You'll find things written in English over there. Those who went on trip, you know what I'm talking about. People speak very, very good English over there. But places that maybe I'm just not too hip on the language, I probably won't be there. And you know what I'm saying? I can visit, but I won't live there. Now, let's get into this article here. What they want to do, these two ladies. So it said a bipartisan duo is teaming up in the House to introduce a bill that will provide legal status for certain undocumented immigrants amid President Donald Trump's broader mass deportation efforts. Under the legislation from Representatives Maria Elvira Salazar and Veronica Escobar, called the Dignity Act of 2025. Undocumented immigrants who have been in the United States since before 2021 will be able to apply for up to 7 years of legal status for work authorization. They would have to pay restitution and check in regularly with the Department of Homeland Security. And the legal status will not allow for any federal benefits or a path to citizenship. So they're saying they can't get no EBT, they can't get no Section 8 and all of that. But here's the thing. States like California would give it to them because that's going through the state, not the federal government. The provision is specifically aimed at addressing the Trump administration's immigration crackdown, which has heavily affected farms and food service workers. Say the bill would also seek to beef up security measures at the border and require employers nationwide to use E-Verify. They should have been doing that. The government system for checking whether workers are in the country legally. The members of Congress have been working for decades on comprehensive immigration solutions. Salazar says she's hopeful that because of her proposal with Escobar does not include amnesty or a path to citizenship, they open the door to a bipartisan compromise. Okay, now just let me stop there. Let's get to it. They're not just talking. They're not just protesting. They're not just making TikToks. Now they're trying to put legislation together to help out their community. We know their community is going to be the most affected. African immigrants doesn't dominate in America. Caribbean immigrants don't dominate in America, okay? And we say Latino immigrants, we're not talking about the Afro-Latino. They don't dominate here in America. The quote-unquote black immigrants, the diaspora immigrants, their numbers are this small compared to those from Latin America. And when I say Latin America, I'm talking about from Mexico all the way on down. So really they helping their own Latino community. And this is how they get things done. And if they get things like this done, what also happens with this is that the Congressional Black Caucus always come up and support immigration. You never see the Congressional Black Caucus stand on business for black issues. Now, everything with black people got to be black and, right? Black and brown, black and Asian, black and LGBT, right? Black and trans. Everything with black people, somebody got to be attached to it. But when it comes to the other groups, nobody can be attached to them. So when you're giving out a couple of $100s here, or you're offering to give this out through, other shadow organizations that nobody know of, Karen Bass, right? When you present a $50,000 grant, and talking about offering a grant, for, immigrants who had had confrontations with ICE and all of that, when you're having Karen Bass talking about, well, this one man was taken away and now the family on the verge could be, evicted because they don't have the money. When you have black politicians that's assisting them, like you have to also think, somebody say, well, some people are arrogant. Well, why wouldn't they be arrogant? Let's think about that. It's one thing for their own communities to support them, but when you see all the black politicians supporting them and they know about the anti-black racism that happens in Latin America, everybody at this stage in the game know about the colorism. They're on that line admitting the racism. They're admitting it. And yet all of that, you still have black politicians that still support immigration when clearly statistics show that we have never benefited off of mass immigration. Actually, we have been hurt by mass immigration. It's also hurt FBA wages. It's hurt our wages. Because when we say, hey, man, we need to get paid a little more. We doing a good job. We being productive. Like, hey, man, I want a little money, a little extra money. I want to take my kids and my family on vacation. Man, I want to take my wife on a couple's trip or whatever. So I need a little money. I don't mind working some overtime, but man, can I get a little bit? They're like, nah, John Quavius, we ain't giving you nothing. If you don't like your pay, you could leave. Because I'm going to go hire an immigrant and pay them less than you. And they'll do it, and they won't say nothing. And that's how wages get hurt. Now, that hurts everybody in America, of course, but we're talking about FBA in particular. Our wages have been hurt. Our unemployment has rose with a mass influx of illegal immigration. Because why would they hire FBAs when they can hire people that's going to take less money? Why? These corporations it's about making money, saving money, and your payroll is going to be your highest thing you have to pay in business. Anybody who has a business, if you got a payroll, that's usually your highest thing. It may not be supplies, you buy supplies, and that may be, until you run out. You got your regular bills. Okay, that may come through, whatever your rent is on your spot that you got, if you got one at all, but the payroll. And the more people you get, the more money you can make. So that's why a lot of times people want to grow their teams. Well, the more you grow, the more payroll is. So they say, hey, if I can get 100 people for, 30 to 40% less in pay, give me them. And that's how Americans are losing their jobs. And then on top of that, AI comes in and can eliminate a whole lot of jobs too. So between mass immigration, artificial intelligence, that's going to knock out a whole lot of jobs, right? So for the jobs that is here, it's important that Americans say, no, we can't be doing this. We have to protect the jobs that's here for our community. Just like in California, just heard a figure today, 40% of the construction jobs in the state of California are done by illegal immigrants. 40%. 40. That is millions of jobs that American citizens do not have in their own country. And yes, Jay, it is about cheap labor. It's about cheap labor because we got to understand this country was started off with zero labor. That's been the legacy of America, and they don't want to get away from it for almost 250 years. They got free labor from us. I told y'all before, if I can get everybody that work with our platform here and don't have to pay them a dime, you know how much money I'll be making? Man, that'd be, boy, I couldn't even imagine that. That's how they got so rich. You all you had to do is provide clothes, shelter, supplies, food. They had to check this. They even had to build their own slave quarters. They didn't even do that. They had to make them build it. Right? You take care of them. You make sure they good with the doctor and all of that. That's not really much. It's not really much. That's why they had so much money, and that's how they got so wealthy, is because of slavery. So when they could not, you have to understand the history of America. When they could not get free labor anymore, what's the next step they did to get free labor again? The convict leasing program. Now we're going to use the police to say, oh, that black man, he hanging out in the corner over here. He don't have a job. Put him in prison. Now, and it's been reported historically, convict leasing was worse than even chattel slavery. Just like here in the Houston area in Sugar Land, when they found 90 some more bodies in the ground from our people dying from convict leasing, right here in Texas. In Sugar Land, right here in Texas. So then you fast forward, think about it. You fast forward from convict leasing, now you're moving to sharecropping, which was nothing but a scam. They had to live there and get the supplies, do everything they had to do. And it was time to pay. Oh, well, I owe you this amount, but I got to take off of this, take off of that, take off of this, take off of that. And the black folks a lot of times wasn't even getting nothing if they got something on sharecropping. These people, if you study their history, they always wanted to get no labor or extremely cheap labor. Then you fast forward, okay, black folks get out of sharecropping. You have the civil rights movement. You have all that. Black folks get all these rights and protections they never had before. They get affirmative action and all of that. Okay, black folks are trying to make it and grow their wages and say, oh, that immigration bill in 65. And when they brought that immigration bill in 65, what did they do? They flooded the cities in this country with people from foreign nations. And what's the first thing those people did? Went to work for less money, putting out FBAs out of jobs. Okay? They closed all the factories, things the FBAs were doing. They shipped that off to Asia, the Asian countries. So that lost a lot of jobs right there too. So you hit so black people in their work and what we've been going through with unemployment and all of that, it's all been done by design so these folks don't have to pay no labor. It's all about not paying labor. Black folks still enslaved today, mass incarceration. You know, about the same 13th Amendment say you're supposed to be no slavery. They just transferred it to the state. And they said more people are locked up in state prison than actually federal prison. A lot of states use slavery, to this day, free labor, to make revenue for their state. And if this brother or sister don't want to work, well, we're going to write you up. We're going to take away your privileges. We're going to put you in the hole. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. It's slavery all over again. And the greater dominant society be like, well, they shouldn't have did nothing to go to jail. Not everybody in that prison committed some heinous, look, this is my thing. I personally believe if you say, okay, Phil, in your perfect world, how would you deal with criminals about jail and all of that? Okay. I'm going to do a hybrid version of the Bible. What do you mean a hybrid version, Phil? Well, if we got conclusive evidence that you violated a woman, a child, a man, or whoever, even if you are in prison too, you violating a man in prison, it's going to be capital punishment. Okay? Any sicko like that don't deserve to be walking around. Sorry, they can't be rehabilitated. I've talked to somebody I know personally that has worked with them kind of people and say they years of doing that, they can't really be rehabilitated. So that's that. I think if it's nonviolent, like nonviolent crime, I think people should be on house arrest. Now, if you violate your house arrest, okay, cool. Well, then you have a violation and you're going to do so much time in county. I'm not going to put you in prison, but maybe county. You know what I'm saying? Okay, then after you do some time in county, let's say you had a violation. Okay, you're going to do 30 days in county. Then you can go back home and see, are you going to finish? Now, if you mess up 3 strikes, you're out. Then you're going to do your time, the rest of your time in county somewhere. I'm not going to put you in prison. You know what I'm saying? But prison should be for your terrorists, like I say, people who murder, whatever. I would even say financial crimes shouldn't be in prison. I think they should be, definitely they should be working off their debts. I think the people need to be working. The ones that steal all your retirement and all them people, no, they need to be chipping rocks. Them people. But just throwing everybody in prison, nah, that wouldn't be my thing. But see, my mindset would destroy the prison industrial complex. And I believe if you're going to work in prison, they need to be paid minimum wage. And if they get paid minimum wage, then you can put that on their books. Then you cut out all the savagery in jail too, because if everybody got, hey, look, I can go work, I'm gonna go work, and look, I'm a firm believer that a man need to be working 12 hours a day. If you put them men working 12 hours a day, they're gonna have time to fight. They're not gonna have time to do nothing in there. But get some food, a shower, and go to sleep, because I got to get right back up in 12 hours and go do it again. That's a perfect way to cut out all that fighting in jail and all that mess they do. No, put they behind the work. The prison issue is actually not hard to solve. But these people want to put people in prison for nonviolent offenses. I never agree with that. Now let's go ahead and continue this here conversation. So then you fast forward. Black people are advancing in America. We are, considering we are advancing. We doing more and more and more. And every time that we try to advance in a city, every time we try to do something productive, they always flooded an area where we live with immigrants. They never do it to white people though. They don't put a bunch of immigrants in the white people area when they're trying to do good. No. They're not gonna do that to white people. but they're going to do that to black folk. And they're going to paper them up so they can come in your community, open up gas stations. Like, how you just get here and you got a gas station, bruh? Like, I wanted a gas station in this neighborhood myself. And we looked at all the money it cost to open it. Like, we couldn't afford that. But how you just got here yesterday, you don't wear deodorant, but yet you got a freaking gas station? How'd that happen? How did you immigrate over here? Then you find out that our government be giving them all kind of special immigrant set-asides, and they got NGOs that give them money. It's a whole hustle. That immigrant thing is a whole hustle. So now if you talk about with delineation, that kind of cuts into the hustle, because the Democrats for sure needs this minority coalition that works the hustle very well. Well, with delineation and the separation away from all of that, it starts and say, I'm not an immigrant. Hey, then now they say, oh, shoot. Now people start panicking. And the Democrats start panicking. Because that finessing with immigration is starting to get cut down. Because a lot of people making money off of immigration. I'm telling you, a lot of people making money. So let's get back to this here we were talking about. So they say for 40 years, every president and Congress has looked the other way while millions have lived here illegally. Yes, they have. It said many working in key industries that keep our economy running. It said it's the Achilles heel no one wants to fix, Salazar said in the statement. It said the Dignity Act offers a common sense solution. Certain undocumented immigrants can earn legal status, not citizenship, by working, paying taxes, and contributing to our country. No handouts, no shortcuts, just accountability and a path to stability for our economy and our future. No. Because there are American people that can go do those jobs. You're still doing the same thing. You're just not giving them citizenship, but you're still not dealing with the problem. They're still going to take a lower wage than an American would take. Okay. It was this recent, God, I wish I could put that up on the screen when I just saw. It popped in my head about the average amount of people that live in certain immigrants' homes. And a lot of these people got 5 and up people living in their homes with multiple incomes. So they say, oh, they make more. Yeah, you got more people in your house. Of course you do. Than a black person that got maybe 3 people living in their house, maybe. Now, let's say the plan would be paid for with restitution and payroll fees by the participant. The Trump administration has already begun a process to try to provide a layer of protection for migrant workers. As the Department of Labor has reshaped its immigration policy department with the goal of making it easier for migrant workers to apply for work visas and temporary status. And at the end of June, Trump said he was working on a way for some migrant laborers to remain in the country. You see, we're working on it right now. We're going to work it so that some kind of temporary pass where people pay taxes, where the farmer can have a little control, as opposed to you walk in and take everybody away. He said, what we're going to do is we're going to do something for farmers. We can say where we can let the farmer sort of be in charge. I don't know what that means. Is that like an overseer? And like, if he don't act right, you can get him deported? That's what it sounds like to me. Say the farmer knows he's not going to hire a murderer. I say despite Trump's pledge, immigration and customs enforcement continues to target workplaces. So recent raid on 2 agricultural facilities in Southern California led to more than 200 arrests and violent clashes with protesters. All right. So, man, hold on. Let me get this back off the screen. Get my other screen up. Give me a second. Where we at? Let me go back over here so I can see y'all. So, Trump himself wants some of them to stay. He doesn't want all of them gone, because he was saying there that, well, the farmers could be in control of them. Because now the issue is, if you're going to do mass deportations, go ahead and do it. You can't say, well, I'm going to do mass deportations on some. But if they work on the farms, I'm going to try to figure out a way for them to stay. You understand what I'm saying? Now, why don't MAGA get out there and do those farm jobs? But I'll never forget a video out of Nebraska where ICE was going through there and getting them folks. And then when they were getting them, a lot of them weren't coming to work no more. They was hiding or whatever. And the farmer's like, my farm's going to shut down. I don't have no workers. Now, you have a lot of them folks in Nebraska that can go do that job. They refuse. I'll never forget this video of this white lady on the border who said that, if you depend on us, everything will be shut down. We're not doing those jobs. I know you won't. because you didn't have to do jobs when you first got here. Remember, you had slaves, and let's call it what it is. They all try to call black people lazy, right? Because we don't want to work for free no more. But the original lazy person of this place is them. Look, they have generational laziness in their DNA. They listen, the perfect world for, that's why they go to slave plantations to get married. They can have weddings at slave plantations. Out of all the horror that happened to slave plantations, they will go and get married there. Some of them, look at how they love to talk about the time of the antebellum South. And they just reminisce about that. Why? They can be lazy. They don't have to do anything. Wait on them hand and foot. Oh, they love to see a black person in subservience to them. Oh, they love it. Because that's the lazy gene in them. Think about it. I always talked about this. You know when feminism came up? Feminism came up when the black woman stopped cooking and cleaning and taking care of the white children. When the white man said, all right, hey, Bessie Mae gone now. Hey, you need to get in that kitchen, cook, clean, take care of these kids. Oh, hell no. Feminism. Well, I don't want to do that. Think about it. When the men say certain things, they say they even got some about silly women today, because we got some silly women in our community. Well, those traditional roles, that's like slavery. Wait, why would a black woman of all women say that, for one? But it come from that white woman. Why would that white woman say that? That's like slavery. Cooking and cleaning and taking care of kids all day and doing this and doing that. Because that's what the black woman did during slavery for them. Cook, clean, take care of their children. Wait on them hand and foot. Do whatever the man wanted in their household. Yeah, to them that is slavery. So when they've made that statement about, it's like slavery, because it is to them, and they've never even experienced it. They didn't even live to the time of the slavery time, right? But yet that ancestral privilege, that ancestral slave master DNA is still in them. Just like you say that we are descendants of slaves and we have that DNA. Well, they also got the DNA of their ancestors too. That DNA is still in the bloodline. That's why we still got beef. We cannot end a beef with them until they make it right. 'Cause we ain't done nothing to do anything. They have to make it right by paying reparations. But that slave master that's in them say, no, I'm not giving no slave nothing. Who does the slave think he talking to about I'm gonna pay him? Please, I'm not paying a slave. And that's why they get so upset when you bring up reparations, because that's that ancestral slave master that's in them that's reacting that way. That's why they get so angry about it. Because let me tell you something. There was this lady, I'll never forget this white lady years ago. And that's when I used to take calls. And this white lady called, I'll never forget what she said. She said, well, the reason why a lot of white people, she said, feel attached still in a way to black people is because of our names. She said the names that we have are still attached to them, is attached to the plantations. So when they look at our last names and things like that, sure, we have all kind of variation of our names, maybe first names, middle names, but the last names are still attached to the slave master. She said Africans don't have that attachment here. Caribbeans, at least in this land, now Caribbeans got attachment to slavery, of course, from the British and all of that. We get that. We're talking about this land. So that's the difference with them versus maybe some others who immigrate here. But they get very upset when we talk about reparations. But now with these other groups and the CBC and all of that, they will watch all this happen. But in this Dignity Act, they won't come in and say, hey, okay, if that's what you're going to do, fine. Well, in the middle of this Dignity Act, let's go it on and put in an anti-black hate crime provision too. Hey, let's go ahead and put that in. You can make that as an amendment in the Dignity Act. So you can do what you want to do for the immigrants, But let's go ahead and get this for FBAs too as an amendment, as part of it. Because they can add amendments all day long to certain bills. If you want to bury it deep in the bill, you can do that too. I don't care how it's done. We want it done. Or if you don't want to do nothing for black people, that's fine. We, as a Congressional Black Caucus, is going to abstain again. We're not going to vote on this. Matter of fact, we're going to vote no on this. We're voting no. And we're going to go tell our constituents why we voted no. And we're going to tell them we're sick and tired of not being included in all these bills. Everybody get the benefit, but we don't benefit? No. But they're not going to do that because they don't care about black people. But at the same time, it's our fault. It's our fault as a community because we have never held their foot to the fire. We've never did it. We don't hold their foot to the fire. We don't make them do anything. It's on us. Oh yeah. Yeah, Goddess. Yeah, Trump. Man, Trump. Look. If Trump and his community, if they speak in their line, okay? Trump, what he do, he had these grand, this is how Trump operates. He had these grand ideas. He do them. And then when his idea he gets a lot of pushback from it, maybe like he did too much on deportation, or maybe he did too much on the tariff, then he reels it back. Oh, I'm gonna pause the tariff for about 90 days. The next day, after he see the stock market's going crazy and a lot of money being lost because his money's tied into it too. Oh, I'm gonna pause that for 90 days. Why do you think he'd be pausing things? He do stuff, he see the craziness of it. Somebody say, hey, it's kind of hurting your money too. Oh, yeah, let me pause that for 90 days. He do the raids or whatever, and somebody can tell him, hey, man, you deporting too many of them? Yeah, we're going to start having some food shortages, and you really going to have a problem. All right, well, okay, well, some people that been here, for a while, yeah, I'm going to work on that because, and let the farmers be in charge. That's how he operates. It seems like Trump, he reminds me of someone that reacts emotional. When somebody's emotional, they just do things, and then after they do it, like, oh, shoot, and they realize the mess they made, then now they're trying to hurry up and fix it. That's kind of how Trump operates. Yeah, he has no balance. He don't have no balance. Now, he just talking about he about to put 30% tariff on Mexico, right? And talking about they don't make a deal with him by August the 1st. I think maybe with some of that, I'm thinking out the blue, he been hearing about how all of the Mexicans been kind of getting that white folks down there for coming in their communities and gentrifying the place and all of that. So I know he probably gonna bring some of that up too, probably, because they don't like to hear that mess, not at all. But here's the thing, their government got to address their immigration deal, and a lot of times in a lot of countries you can't just go buy property. Now, in this country, you can, but that's why I'm shocked they let them do it. But they should be getting at their government because at least the Americans that's going to Mexico, they're doing it legally. They're not doing it illegally. You say, what's going on in Japan? Something happening in Japan, too? Something happening in Japan? But our black representation in Congress has not done nothing good for us as black Americans. It hasn't. That's why when I see them come out talking, I'm like, meh, really? Like what have you done? They have not done nothing. That's why I'm like, I think the Congressional Black Caucus just need to be disbanded, and then it needs to be rebranded with a different name, and it just needs to be all new people. Because all the people we see in there, they bought and paid for. They sold out. It's just bottom line. But once again, black folks keep voting these people in. A lot of times these people even run unopposed. A lot of them. And we can't just blame all the time the older generation because a lot of them are passing away. Now it's on the younger generation. And a lot of you don't want to get involved with the voting. You're like, I don't want to vote on that. Now, I guess maybe you can vote on a smartphone or a tablet. Maybe you would be more inclined to vote, but that's just not going how it's going to be. So a lot of you sit it out. And I say your local politics is more important than your senator, your congresspeople, whatever. We need to find out people that's running for the community. We need to create something where they say, okay, You're approved by the community here. Hey, this is the person we all vote for, and we vote in the block for these people. And that way we go that way. I think that should happen. But these people can't have affiliations with nobody we feel that's shady, no groups, no certain super PACs that's want us to advocate for foreign countries. None of that. You have to advocate for the country you live in and the community you live in, period. I don't think we should be voting in nobody that's talking about foreign countries. Now, you know what particular foreign country that a lot of these people advocate for. I'm sorry, but I think America has done enough. I think America needs to advocate for Americans, period. I wouldn't want nobody to give me no money, then they can control me. I'm like, man, keep your money. I don't want it. Even if I'm in need of it, I'm like, man, I figure out another way. I don't want nobody to give me no money and I got to do what they say. No. What's the point of that? What's the point of me being in Congress, but I can't say certain things? I can't advocate for certain things because, well, you know, that donor over there, it's going to kind of mess with his interest. Or, you know, you want some more money for you around campaign time and you're going to need it. Yeah, you can't really say much. I'm like, well, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point of me being here, speaking for the people? What's the point? I might well just stay home. I'd do better talking on the internet then than being here and I can't say nothing. What y'all saying to let Trump raise the drama because if we say we had our reparations, what we owed, and said what Elijah Muhammad said, we wouldn't depend on foreign countries. Yeah. It's right. All money, not good money. That's why, you know, for me, I really appreciate it when y'all support. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen one person earlier, you know, make a super chat, and I greatly appreciate that super chat. But like I said, I would definitely appreciate it a lot more if you had went on the app and got a membership. Like tonight, if everybody got a monthly membership tonight, all 1,500 of y'all that's not on there, get a membership tonight. That's what moved the needle for us. It's that support like that. That helps us not be controlled, because how many platforms have you seen go down the tubes when they took money? You know, sometimes it could be, you know, tempting to take money from different organizations or people because you need it to maybe grow or to survive. That's why Essence got in the trouble it got in. When they sold 49% of Essence to Time Incorporated, then 5 years later, they sold the rest of it off. And that's how Essence was lost out of the hands of Black Americans. You have to support your platforms. That's platforms that's servicing you. We all have to do it. Black people don't receive this gang of money. We don't. You can talk to any Black business owner, they will tell you we do not get this gang of money. So we definitely survive off of the support. So that's why I say download the app and get them at least a monthly subscription. That will greatly support us. Also, come with us to Ghana as well. I like to break bread with y'all. It's only $199 down. It's 18 spots left, $199 down, and you can just make your payments on that. It's in November. You know what I'm saying? Come with us. And like I say, once the 18 spots gone, they're gone. So come on with us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight, and we greatly appreciate it. I know LaSherica will be coming up next at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. She's going to be going in about some of the same topic as well. A good breakdown. But thank y'all for listening. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
Stay connected with global Black communities. Download the African Diaspora News Channel app and keep up